Professor Feldman, thank you for being on Damn Lies and Statistics. Before we start, I got to say, I legitimately loved this book. I'm not just saying that because you're here, but let me tell you why I loved this book and also why I hated it. It made me question my own beliefs, which as a white heterosexual male aged 18 to 49 in the United States, I'm always right. So how could I be right all the time and then question the things I believe? But that book made me do it. So I wanted to cover some of the damn lies that we believe about higher education. And have you perhaps refute them, agree with them? So let's pull up the first one, if you don't mind. All right. The first damn lie that we seem to understand is that college tuition is skyrocketing. Nobody can afford to go to college anymore, and everyone is an idiot. Brian, can you pull up the first slide? This is a slide of the most expensive schools. This is what the media would like us to believe. This is what they focus on because it makes for a good story. I've never even heard of Kenyon College, but evidently it's $71,000 a year. Franklin and Marshall, 70. Colorado, 70. What's that?
Kenyon is my undergraduate institution.
Get out of here. You went to the most expensive school in the United States. Congratulations. You must be paying that off right now. So I wanted to bring this up, but I wanted to juxtapose it with, Brian, can you pull up the second one? These are the most affordable schools. And this seems very reasonable. So in Florida, a lot of these states, you can go for under 10 grand, which seems, for a higher education in the United States, pretty good. Then one more before I'll let you go. The third slide. This is the sticker price and what people are actually paying in private and public institutions. So despite the fact that sometimes it's 70, maybe you're not paying 70, maybe you're paying 50. So what is the truth about college tuition skyrocketing?
There is no one truth. There are lots of truths, and that's the problem. The list price has to be distinguished from net price. Net price is what the average student pays. But the problem is most families are not average. They're them. So different families can look at what's happened over the past 50 years and react very differently. There is no doubt the sticker price at public flagships and private schools in the stratosphere have risen dramatically over time. That is absolutely true. But that list of the first set of colleges that you put up does not look like where America goes to college. Second, those schools, if you go on to say Stanford University's webpage and look what it costs a family at different levels of income to go there, you pointed out schools where it's reasonable, $10,000. If you make less than $75,000 a year, which is roughly half the families in the United States, you will pay no tuition at Stanford, and the net cost will be lower than those Florida colleges that you pointed out. So tuition discounting, it's what families don't pay. Tuition discounting has grown dramatically over the past 50 years. The problem is that the system of pricing in higher education is opaque. It's really hard for a family to know what they have to pay when they're beginning the application process, unless the university sets it out. If you make this, you pay that. If you make this, you pay that. And very few schools do that. Harvard does, Stanford does, but very few schools do. So it's a daunting process. And if you look at the families that have seen some of the biggest increases in their net price, it's families in the middle of the income distribution. This is one of the reasons that that tuition is so salient, is because families in the middle, in the broad middle, I'm talking families making $150,000 a year, which is double the average income of the United States. But they've seen significant price increases, especially at public universities over the past 40 years.
Why the opacity, whatever that word is? I didn't go to William and Mary. Why do they make it so complicated? Can't you just say that if you make, like you said, Harvard does it, a chart that goes, this is the real price? Because otherwise you get all these stories about how higher education is unattainable in the United States. It doesn't look great.
Have you ever filled out the FAFSA form?
Yes.
It's complicated as hell, right?
Yes.
And it's because families earn income in a wide variety of ways. And there are families who have very low measured incomes, but very large assets. And so colleges need information, or they say they need information from families in order to make a financial aid offer to that family. I think they ask for way too much information. The federal government asks for way too much information.
Every time the government gets involved, it's like honestly, it's like it's like doing your taxes. It's way too complicated. Can't we like streamline this? Can we get AI out? Somebody has to figure this out because it doesn't look good. Like when you see this Kenyan college for 71 grand, you go, oh my God, that's outrageous. But if it's not 70, don't say it's 70, you know? Oh boy.
Well, there are people who pay the 70.
Well, that's the other thing too, is I just wanted to touch on this briefly. We love the idea of college and I think it's great. Higher education obviously is fantastic. So they kind of have us over a barrel. The thing I equated to is the veterinarian. Vets are like, hey, listen, the surgery for your cats, it's $2,000, or we can kill it for 300. So you go, all right, well, I guess here's your $2,000. You know, it's like one of those things where, okay, I guess college is 70,000 a year. I need it, you know?
Yeah, but the point is that you don't need a college that's 5 times as expensive as one that will do you just as well. There's an awful lot of personal choice involved. No one needs to borrow $70,000 to get an undergraduate degree. Period.